actually marks 30 days that I've been here in the Peruvian Amazon jungle. If you would have asked me 30 days ago, 60 days ago, last month, I would have never thought this would have been my life right now. Just to give you a backdrop of why I'm here, there's been a call for me to do a lot of traveling, but of course in our lives we have different things that will take us away or can't do, whether it's jobs or family or children, or anything that can take you from doing the things that you feel like you've called to do. But back last year, 2019, the opportunity opened itself up to me. And when I looked around, everything was in place. The timing was right. The children were raised. The career was in a place where it could run itself. I was the owner of my own business, so I didn't have a job or anyone to answer to. So I answered the call to leave the States, but not only to leave the States, but to sell everything that I own outside of my brick and mortar business, to sell everything that I own, to do this traveling. My purpose was to travel, see the world, study holistic medicine, different holistic modalities, and just go on a spiritual journey. What that entailed, I did not know. I just knew that I needed to go. The opportunity opened itself up, and I was trusting, keyword, I was trusting in my intuition, and I was trusting in God leading me to wherever He felt that I needed to be led. That allowed me to get to this side of the world was a company called Remote Year. With them for a year, traveling 12 different countries in that year. And the plan was to connect with the culture and whatever plant medicines that they had, all those things. The way God set it up for me, I made it to three of those countries. I was in Chile and I was in Lima. And when I got to Lima and Peru was a special place here. I felt a connection to Peru. I felt a true healing was going to happen here in Peru. But I just didn't know what. I just was going again with my gut and what I was feeling, but I just wasn't sure of what it was that God was calling me to. So I left Peru and went to Medellin, Colombia. So while I was in Medellin, I had already heard about a retreat that was going on in Peru that I had to fly back to. And it was an ayahuasca retreat. Ayahuasca is that mother vine, that soul dying vine that's mixed with another beautiful medicine plant that just really shows you who you are, helps you to remember who you are, shows you parts, shows you your journey, your visions, past lives. It just takes you in many different areas. So I ended up here back in Peru at this ayahuasca retreat, which was supposed to be for 9 days. And in the middle of this retreat, there was 4 ceremonies. After my 4th ceremony, after the ceremony was over that morning, I got word that all flights were canceled. The borders of Peru was closed, and no one could leave. So I want to fast forward to 2 days later. We all know everything has been shut down. Yesterday was the last flight out, where the guests here flew out, the Americans, because we have Americans, Australians, UK, but everyone has left except for me. Yesterday was the last flight out. There are 3 Americans left and went back home. And I decided to decline my seat and stay. Why? Because I felt deeply inside that there was more work for me here. It wasn't time for me to go back to the States. I felt more safe here. And I really feel as though I manifested this because everything that I've asked for is right here. Plant-based medicine, spiritual journey. So as I was meditating the last couple of days, just trying to listen to the call and how do I bring forth some things? How can I share some things? How can I inspire others to do the same thing that I'm doing in their own way? I decided to listen. I decided to be still. So at this point, I don't know how long I'm going to be here. Right now we can't plan a thing. We don't know what tomorrow is going to hold. We don't know what next year is going to hold. I just gave up my last seat to come back to the States, and I don't know how long I'll be here in the jungle. But what I do know is God is here with me. What I do know, I am at full peace. What I do know is that there is a journey still here waiting on me to continue on. I haven't even started. I think the ceremonies was just the ceremonies, but the integration is now. One of the things that came out in my ceremony that I will say that, Mother Ayahuasca had, showed me how I would be a vessel of healing. How I would be a vessel of healing. It was a powerful mantle, and it was a little scary for me because it was a lot to put on my shoulders, but I asked for it. I asked what the purpose was. What is it that I'm supposed to do? So in order for me to be a vessel of healing, I have to make sure that my vessel is clean. I'm not the healer. I'm just the vessel. God is the healer. I'm just the vessel in which he will work his miracles through. I will be one of the vessels. Let's put it that, because I'm not the only. There's millions of us out here, light workers out here. But I will be a vessel of healing. So my meditation, how can I be a vessel? How can I be a vessel to the world? How can I be a vessel? How can I be an example? How can I inspire others to do their own individual work? And the work, what is the work? People, I say that all the time to my clients. I say it to my students. I say it to my mentees. You got to do the work. And when you hear that, you got to do the work. Ultimately, what I'm speaking about is going back within yourself, deep within your spirit, within your higher self, and really connecting back to who you are, back to God. At the end of the day, it's always going back to him. He's the ultimate. The universe is the ultimate. So doing the work, going back within, because what I do believe is once we was birthed into this human flesh, we forgot who we were. We totally forgot who and what and whom we are and who we are and the powers and the gifts that we have. And this is the day, this is the time, this is the season where things are starting to change. Frequency is getting higher. Vibrations are higher. Dimensions are higher. The world will not be the same after this coronavirus. So what would I be doing while I'm here? This jungle is just the physical manifestation of where I'm trying to go in a spiritual realm. Remote, deep, connecting back to nature. This is remote, is deep in, and is connected back to the universe. And that's what I want to do on a mental, emotional, and physical state. And I will admit it's a scary thing because at this point, there's no distractions. See, at home, I had the excuse of I got to work. I had the excuse of I have clients. I have had the excuse of I had to take care of this or that. So going within myself, and I can't even say 30 days. I may be here for 6 months. I may be here a whole year. I don't know how long I'm going to be here for me to go within. But I wanted to share my experience with you guys.